Gorgeous. This is the Bay Area, encompassing the cities of San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose, to name a few. Unknown to many, there is a surprisingly good amount of climbing here. It's a cyclist playground, with hills and mountains stretching in and around the dense urban metropolis. According to the PJAM cycling website, there are 151 documented climbs in the entire Bay Area. And in this series, we'll aim to tackle all of them, one by one. And at the end of the day, take you through what it's like and rank them based on difficulty and how beautiful. Good morning and welcome back to another episode of the Every Climb series. This morning we find ourselves in Fairfax, ready for a climb up to the links over to the dam. Let's go. Okay, I believe the climb starts at the three-way stop sign there, just outside of town, past the 7-Eleven. And the roads are really treacherous out the go. But we're gonna hit this hill and get up it today. And after you pass Deer Park Villa, there is a little steep section and the road sort of gets crumbly and can be busy with cars, so take care. Alright, I just want to jump into the video here and explain this new graph that I'm putting together to really showcase how these climbs stack up against each other. On the left hand side is difficulty rating, so the higher the climb in difficulty, the higher it goes in the graph. And then as it goes further to the right, it is more beautiful, the beauty ranking on the bottom. So you can start to get an idea whether there is a correlation between the difficulty and the beauty of the climbs. And you can see a lot of those higher climbs, in my opinion, are really beautiful because they end in views, they end at higher elevations. But then some of these other climbs are down the bottom of the graph. For example, Pine Mountain Pass, what we're doing today, is about a 3 out of 10 in difficulty rating and 4 out of 10 in beauty. So it's in that middle pack there. All right, let's get back to the climb. And I'll be honest, I'm not feeling in tip-top shape this morning, but we're still getting out there. Let's do a little climb here and see how we feel at the top. Just having fun, rolling the legs through. Lovely. A big forest over my shoulder. We'll eventually go through it later on today. All right, there's the treatment link turnoff. At that point, we've done 300 feet of elevation gain. We're slowly working our way up. It sort of mellows out for a portion here, so you can get a bit of a break and spin the legs through. Look at this, a portion of baby redwoods showering us over the road. The countryside off to my right, gorgeous. Now for some folks out here, this would be a mere bump in their big day ride. But for a large swath of people, this hill would be a real challenge and a real accomplishment to make up. And I think this is what this series, part of this series is about, is showing off every climb, hill, and mountain around, no matter how big or small. Leave no hill behind. And we passed the golf course here, a slight downhill before the last portion of climbing. That's a nice break. A few fawn over there, grazing in the lush grass. You can often see a lot of these on this ride. Be cautious, so some of them do cross the road. So if you're coming down a hill, you want to make sure you watch out. All right, Mount Tam watershed. We're getting close to the mountain itself.
but not today. Instead, we're heading up there behind me to the top of that ridgeline. Let's keep on going. Alrighty, we cruise around the ends of the links, and it's sort of undulating, rolling hills before it starts to ramp up again. It's a nice little break. I'm cruising, thinking, loving this morning now, really getting into it. And I think the big hairpin turn here signifies when it starts to ramp up. Look at that in the distance. That's sunrise. Starting to poke its way up. We're early this morning, 7:30. Ooh, let's go. And I like to get out to this climb earlier rather than later. The main reason being, beyond the peak is Alpine Dam, and this is the main thoroughfare for a lot of people to drive to get to that place. So the earlier you do it, it's before everyone's getting up and getting out to that dam, and you can climb kind of in peace like this once you get past the golf course. All right, that's 700 feet of elevation gain. Up and up we go. We're hugging the alternate side of the ridgeline now, getting closer. Alrighty, this back half of the climb is challenging in a certain reason. It's really inconsistent grades, small, it's really steep portions, then around the hairpins it shallows out, back up to steep, makes it really hard to get into a rhythm. Oh, we keep on going though. Okay, you know you're close to the top when there's a break in the trees and you can start to get an idea that the summit is near. And look at those low-lying clouds closing in on the summit here. We're not even that high of elevation, but it does add a mood and aesthetic to the top of this climb. Nearly there. Alrighty, there's the top of the climb. In my mind, it's the car park that signifies the top. Good for a little break. You can sit on the rail here, take a breather, and take in what you just accomplished. Now, it's not the largest climb in the world, it's just a little under 1,000 feet of elevation gain, but it's a lovely start from Fairfax all the way to the top here, just winding all the way through the houses, past the golf course. You're gonna get some wildlife in there with some fawns. The weather here today, not super fantastic, but on a lovely day, it's lush, it's green, the blue skies, the sun, really good one out of Fairfax, and you got lots of options to. Okay, I'm gonna jump back on the bike, I'm gonna head back down, enjoy this downhill, and get on with the rest of the ride.
Okay, there's the climb over and done with. Returning back to this graph here, like I mentioned before, the difficulty rating is on the left-hand side and the beauty rating down the bottom right. The further right across is more beautiful, the further higher up it gets is the more difficult. These are just my objective opinions on these climbs, and I think at this stage I'm reserving the right to change them as I go along because I think they're going to have to be based on what happened prior. So I might do some adjusting here. Don't judge me for it, but I think it's necessary. But I'm really loving the way that you can see that there's a correlation between how difficult the climbs are versus how beautiful they are. And then I'm putting the number of climbs, the climb number on the left-hand side there so you can see at what stage we did it. So right now we're at 14 out of 151. We're really making a lot of progress. The climb today, Pine Mountain Pass, it's lower down the chart. I didn't really think it was that difficult, and it's fairly beautiful. It's 4 out of 10. It's nothing to write home about, but it's a good little climb you can add to other rides that you may be doing around Fairfax, around Alpine Dam. Definitely worth sort of getting up there and pushing the legs through to get them warmed up for the morning. I did mine here at 7 to 7:30 in the morning. It's still pretty cold, and this climb was a great place to get the legs warmed up. All right, Thanks so much for watching as usual. Catch you next time.